My friend Lucas went missing after filming Comet ATLAS 3I, and his camera showed something impossible. When I found it lying on the rooftop floor, the plastic felt colder than the night air. I ran toward it, my pulse matching the hum in the sky. The tripod was knocked over, one of our folding chairs still spinning slowly in the wind, like someone had left in a hurry. I picked up the camera and looked at the screen. Static. Then, a flicker. A frame of the sky Comet ATLAS 3I pulsing brighter than I'd ever seen it. The light flared, as if the comet was staring back. Then I heard his voice through the speaker, trembling and breathless. "Look at how it's moving, like it knows we're watching." A gust of wind pushed against me, making the tripod clatter slightly. I had set it up exactly where he left it, pointed at the same place in the sky. Comet ATLAS 3I hovered bright and sharp, too bright for something so far away. The screen flickered. The comet's light pulsed in the exact same rhythm as the glitching pixels. I tightened my grip. My gut knew this wasn't ordinary interference. Lucas had always been braver than me. He believed the universe wanted to communicate. I believed it wanted to stay silent. That was our difference. That was the line he crossed. I rewound a moment. The camera caught something like a ripple of symbols around the comet shapes. I couldn't to name but felt familiar. Like they were meant for the human eye. The rooftop seemed to shrink around me, fenced in by the glow from above. The air vibrated in my chest, low and steady, syncing with the pulse of the comet on the frozen frame. My throat tightened. I whispered, "Lucas, where the hell are you?" ATLAS 3I pulsed again. The pause icon glitched violently for a split second, then stopped. I stared back at the comet, realizing it was not waiting to be studied. It was waiting for a response. We were here together just a week ago. Same rooftop, same folding chairs. Same plan, film Comet ATLAS 3I for fun and maybe post a goofy video online. Nothing serious, until Lucas made it serious. He set up the tripod like a professional, tightening knobs and leveling the mount with more care than usual. His hands trembled, not from cold, but from excitement that felt a little too intense. "Tonight," he said, "we'll see what it really is." The city felt muffled, like the buildings knew to be quiet. The comet shone brighter than it ever had, a sharp slash of blue-white light across the night. Lucas whispered that it had changed path. I laughed, but his eyes never left the sky. He kept zooming in and out, adjusting focus, breathing too fast. Look how it's facing us." "Facing us? Comets do not have faces. They do not change orientation to greet you." The camera screen flickered with that same pulsing you could feel inside your ribs. Lucas stepped closer, raising the viewfinder to his eye. The glow intensified. He flinched but didn't step away. That was the first moment I felt scared. Not of the comet. Of Lucas. He whispered again, but it wasn't for me. "It's responding." His voice carried awe and worship. Streetlights below dimmed for a second, just like tonight. The wind died. The silence sharpened. He lowered the camera just enough for me to see his face. His pupils were huge, drinking in every photon from the sky. "It's trying to show us something." I told him to stop. He didn't even hear me. His entire body was angled toward that light like gravity had shifted sideways. For the first time, I wondered if the universe could choose someone, and I prayed it wasn't him. I replayed the footage again, frame by frame. Every time the comet flashed, the rooftop lights around us dimmed in sync. Not only that, Lucas's breathing on the recording began to distort, stretching unnaturally, as though the sound itself bent toward the light. I froze the frame where his voice broke off. The comet filled the lens now, enormous, its tail spiraling like a living current. Something shimmered within the glow, an outline that didn't belong to fire or ice, almost skeletal. The next few frames were a blur of static and light, then nothing. The feed cut abruptly, leaving the hiss of white noise. I stared at the timestamp. 11:44 p.m., the exact minute Lucas vanished. I turned to the sky. The comet was still there, identical to the image in the footage, perfectly aligned with the lens. I adjusted the focus on his old tripod until the glare cleared. For a second, the lens caught a pulse that seemed to originate from inside the light, as if something vast had blinked. My body felt weightless. The city disappeared under a layer of vibrating hums. The light was no longer distant, it felt behind my eyes, reflecting in my veins. Lucas had said it was trying to show us something. Now I understood. It wasn't showing. It was selecting. The camera began to record again on its own. My reflection appeared faintly in the glass. But there was another outline beside me, something taller, rippling like a silhouette made of static. The comet pulsed once more, stronger than before, and the rooftop filled with a silent, blinding blue. When I opened my eyes, the sky was different. The stars looked closer too close, as if the world had folded in on itself while I was gone. My phone said only 12:04 a.m. I had lost 20 minutes. The camera was still running, its battery impossibly full. The screen displayed nothing but static lines, except for one phrase burned faintly into the pixels. Playback restricted. I lowered the camera and stared at the comet again. It had dimmed slightly, or maybe the air had thickened around it. Every sound on the rooftop was muted, like being underwater. Even my own breathing echoed wrong delayed, as if recorded and replayed a second later. Then the static on the screen shifted. A shape appeared, a rooftop. My rooftop, except the version on the camera was empty. I turned around. No shadow, no reflection. The hum beneath my feet changed pitch, climbing in vibration until my teeth ached. The tripod started to shake. I reached to steady it, but the metal burned with cold that shouldn't exist. And then the voice came through the camera's mic. Not Lucas, not human. A fractured whisper layered 100 times over, speaking in rhythm with the comet's pulse. I could only catch fragments. Light, exchanged, coordinates, not alone. I dropped the camera. It clattered, spinning the lens toward the city skyline. For half a second, I saw something impossible, tiny points of light descending in slow arcs, moving with intention. They weren't stars. They were approaching. By the next morning, the news feeds were filled with footage of Comet ATLAS 3I, everyone claiming it had changed color overnight. They said it was a visual anomaly, a reflection, something harmless. They hadn't seen what I had. I played the camera footage again. The timestamp had shifted by 12 hours. The rooftop sequence now looped endlessly, me standing alone beneath the comet, over and over, each loop slightly different. In one, my head tilted toward the sky. In another, my mouth moved as if answering something. I had no memory of any of it. Then a final frame appeared, one that wasn't in any of the others. The screen flashed white and formed a message written in distortion. You continued the transmission. The wind outside picked up, rattling the window. I turned instinctively toward it, half expecting to see Lucas standing in the alley. Only the reflection of the comet glared back at me through the glass. A low hum filled the room, like electricity under the floorboards. My phone vibrated. The screen lit up with an incoming file, ATLAS3, I_response. Move no sender. I hesitated. Every instinct screamed not to press play. But curiosity was gravity. The video opened to a view of the night sky from a higher angle, as though filmed from above the clouds. The comet blazed in impossible symmetry, perfect, alive, aware. Then the camera slowly panned down toward Earth, toward rooftops, toward me. My breath caught as the frame froze on a single image. Myself, standing exactly where Lucas had stood a week ago, the same glow washing over me. Only one difference: his outline was beside mine this time, and he was looking at me. The apartment was darker than it should have been. Morning light hadn't arrived. My laptop screen, frozen on the words, "Transmission accepted," reflected faintly against the window. Outside, the city looked muted, like it had been drained of sound. The camera blinked alive again. No command, no touch, just light. The lens adjusted itself and displayed a new recording I had never made. I leaned closer. The image shook, stabilized, and then focused on a rooftop, our rooftop. Lucas stood there. He was bathed in the same blue-white glow that had devoured the sky that night. The light wasn't behind him anymore, it was in him, radiating through his skin like veins of glass. His eyes glowed faintly, not with life, but with reflection. I whispered his name. He looked up, straight at me. The camera zoomed closer on its own. His mouth moved slowly, precisely. No sound came through the speakers, but I could read it. The shape of every word burned into me. He wants you too. A violent pulse flared from the screen, flooding the apartment with light. The walls bent, stretching like reflections in liquid glass. My reflection appeared on the window, then a second one. Standing behind it, smiling faintly, eyes burning white. The glow from outside intensified. The window pane vibrated with the rhythm I knew too well. Atlas 3, I was answering. I stumbled backward as the reflection raised its hand. pressing its palm against the glass. My palm, but not mine. The camera tilted toward the window by itself, recording the moment. The last frame captured before the blackout was the comet pulsing one final time. Each flash slower, closer.